What's going on, guys? Dan from SSG bringing you some DB gameplay. This time we're going to do a live commentary, a little bit of a different video from here. Usually we hit you with the paper content, but we're going to get into this deck here, and we have a machine mid-range deck, which I like quite a bit. All my mid-range decks like to have sources of card advantage, which we have for the gadgets. Just 2 of each gadgets. I think gadgets are really suited well in the style of like machine decks that are kind of like mixed bags. You don't want to just full commit on a gadget plan. We always have to have something kind of mixed with it, in my opinion. And we also have Gear Frame to get us card advantage, so we're going to be able to grind people out with those cards here. Of course, we have ways to put fast clocks into play, such as 2 copies of Machina Fortress, which we can search out. Of course, we have an Ancient Gear engine consisting of 3 Gear Town, and we can go fetch out 2 Galvatron Dragons we have there, as well as the Tech Ancient Gear Engineer from the homie Control-Alt-Defeat, I believe it was, in the comments section of a previous video. Dropped this tech on me. Pretty sweet. We can pressure our opponent's back rows with it, attack, and then if it survives, we can then hit a spell or trap our opponent controls. So pretty awesome. And I like Ancient Gear Beast. I think it's just one of the best mid-range cards in the format. Card's just really good. Pressures a lot of different things. Doesn't really like die to Raikou or anything, so good card. We have 2 Terraforming to also fetch our Mausoleum, so a lot of good field spell play there. The limiter removal can blow people out, and the signature card of this deck is 3 copies of Solidarity in the main board here. I like 3 Solidarity just for being as linear as possible. In game 1s, we can kind of just beat down and be a mid-range deck, but be a linear, like aggro-based mid-range deck in game 1, and then in games 2 and 3, we can be sort of like a reactive mid-range deck that likes to just feel the opponent out, right? In this case, we're going to try and just be linear and aggro while gaining card advantage and interacting with opponent. And we have, just basic interaction here. Of course, we have Bottomless. We have 1 copy of Dark Bribe, which is kind of a tech. I like Dark Bribe a lot as a 1-of. It helps complement Solemn Judgment. And we have 3 Deep Prisons for removal, Torrential, Mirror Force, of course, and wouldn't be an SSG deck without the Trap Dust Shoot somewhere. Notable inclusions here. Extra deck, nothing really, we can't really make anything, so we're just going to have these Chimera Techs for the side. No tuners in the main, but Cyber Dragons, Kaiku's really good in combination with Smashing Grounds. We have DD Crows, of course, which when we bring these in, the Kaiku's and the DD Crows, the Solidarities will come out and will be more of a reactive deck in games 2 and 3. But we also have 2 copies of Soul Taker. I've been liking this card quite a bit, just being able to destroy Dimensional Alchemists, kind of deny the card selection that the Fairy decks have. 1 copy of Lightning Vortex, pretty strong, and some trap cards here to round out our sideboard. But we're going to get right into a game here. So this is going to be our second attempt of getting a match here. Our opponent summoned a Volcanic Rocket and then conceded immediately after. So interesting. Let's see if we can get a real duel this time. And of course we're going to go Rock because it's the meta. But apparently we got the anti-meta over here. So let's see what our opponent chooses. Forgot to put 2. Oh, this is the same opponent. Okay, so there was something wrong with his deck in the last game, and he opens Volcanic Rocket again. So he basically just stole the play from us. So that's pretty funny. But he'll get to go first, and we'll see what he's up to here. He's going to search out Blaze Accelerator, which is a solid start. We're going to go to our turn, and we have some play here, right? There's a Trap Dust Shoot, which actually doesn't affect us too much. I haven't played on DB in a while. I think, is this just show hand? Okay, yes. So, yeah, he takes the Fortress, which is, of course, going to go back to the deck. And we will shuffle. So it doesn't affect us too much, right? I think if he took something like a gadget, that would be much better. But in this spot, I think we don't... Do we want to be aggressive here? Do we want to just go like Terraforming Gear Town? I think we generally want to do that. But I think we want to just normal some of the Ancient here. So we're going to activate our Gear Town. We're going to activate our Terraforming, rather. And then we're going to go and search out Gear Town to hand. Auto Shuffle to Grave. And now we're just going to activate Gear Town here. This is in our main phase, of course. And then we're just going to normal summon this guy. And we're just going to declare an attack. I think it's fine. Our opponent knows their hand. There's not really reason to set a card, so we will just end. So, of course, they do have the Blaze Accelerator, so if they have some sort of way to get to Volcanic Shell, they are going to be able to answer this, but it looks like they're just going to pass, and now we have a Gadget. So Gadget's pretty interesting draw here. I think that with the 2 copies of Smashing Ground, I will elect to just push into something like a Gorz here. So we will declare our Gadget's effect, and we will search out a copy of Red Gadget. And this is exactly what our deck wants to do. As mentioned in the brief profile, we just want to get into the card advantage engine of our deck while beating our opponent down. So we're going to play around Gorz here by, of course, attacking with our 1400 first. And we're going to see if they have some sort of Tragodia or Gorz here. Looks like it takes both. And then we're going to set nothing, because they should theoretically still know our hand. And we still have the ability to Mausoleum over this Gear Town here. Interesting, we have an attack from my boy Airbellum here. It inflicts battle damage. Discard 1 random card. Okay, so we're going to take 200 here. And then, don't we discard? Inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack. Okay, we don't discard. That's pretty good then. I got confused. There's what other card? What card does like a damage and then it actually does a discard there? I'm not actually sure. But that didn't affect us too bad. Interesting normal summon here. I wonder, is he on like some sort of cat, like volcanic rocket? I don't really know what the player's on here. But I don't have a reason to use the Smashing Ground. I'm just going to keep applying pressure here. We're just going to normal summon the red, declare. And then we're going to go grab our yellow Gadget out of the deck here. And just going to go battle phase and declare an attack onto the Airbellum. That's going to deal 400. And then we will attack directly for 13. Bring our opponent down to 28. So pretty good. We're providing a fast clock here. We're going to set the smashing now, since we potentially could have a back row. And we're going to see what our opponent does to deal with this kind of board. So we have a quick draw. So we are running quick draw, cat, something. Pretty interesting here. We're going to give him the thumbs up. And then sack for Caius. Caius is fine. We can just get banished now. Yep. And then we're going to take what is 1100. So that is quite fine. We will then go to our turn, and the Smashing Grounds are going to be pretty handy here now. So what we're going to do is, I think the best play is just to send this to grave. We're going to set this here, declare the activation, and then we're going to go get a Galvatron Dragon, of course, out of our deck. Special summon attack position. Then we're going to drop a Gadget into play and declare. I'm going to go grab our green Gadget. And then we're going to flip Smashing Ground, because I think we just want to go for a kill here. And we go to game 2. So they're on quick draw, Volcanic quick draw. We definitely want to get the DD Crows in, which means we're going to take out our copies of Solidarity. We want to just be as reactive as possible. Solidarity is mainly for game 1s, where we want to be pushing and being proactive. I think Kaiku is fine. I think we want to bring in Kaiku here. Engineer doesn't seem too good. Not too many back rows being played in those style of decks. Dark Bribe can come out, right? They're mostly going to be pressuring us with their monsters, their monster effects. I like Vortex against turn 1 Titanial. Titanial plus Dandelion is a pretty strong opening, being able to have tokens, and that is pretty strong. So maybe we put in the 1 copy of Lightning Vortex and probably cut like a Smashing Ground for it. I think Smashing's fine, but we can beat over a lot of their threats that aren't Titanial. So we want to do that. And what else? What else do we want? Do we want Pulling the Rug? Pulling the Rug's pretty solid against Caius and Debris. But we're going second, so maybe we don't want those. So we have how many cards coming in? We got 4, 5. and we have 6 going out. Let's see. I think going second, we might want 1 copy of Cyber Dragon. I think that's pretty reasonable. I just like that card going second in general. Starlight Road is interesting, right? Because they can have easy access to Black Rose. But let's try the Cyber Dragon. I don't mind Cyber Dragon going second against pretty much any deck. Just applies pressure, and it's a valuable machine monster. Another thing we can take out is Trap Dust Shoot, though. We're going to remove Dust Shoot because going first, that's exactly where we want it to be. And let's try to remove... Let's just put in a Rug, I guess. That's fine. That seems like a decent configuration. And we're going to go into game 2 here with our mid-range machine deck. Alright, so pretty solid opening here. We have a bunch of creatures that can get +1s. We have the 2 gadgets and the gear frame. Unfortunately, 2 gadgets, I mean, you only play 6 in the deck, but this does tend to happen. And then we have 2 points of interaction with the Torrential Tribute and the Pulling the Rug. Pulling might prove to be pretty strong here. Oh, but he's actually going straight for Debris Dragon, so that's pretty interesting. Let's see what they're going to make. And it's a Stardust. So Stardust, pretty sweet. Of course, Stardust Dragon is going to be a pretty strong card here on turn 1. And they open Dust Shoot again. So that's pretty a strong start. So we're going to show our opponents a hand here. And we're going to see what they take. Okay, so it's going to go to the top of the deck. And shuffle. Okay. So what's the line here, right? I think, like, we have to, like, just summon Gadget and start attacking the tokens. That seems to be the best thing to do in our main phase, of course. We're going to go find our yellow Gadget. And then we'll just go straight battle phase. Attack here. Main phase 2. Now, how many things do we want to set, right? Torrential is just going to get negated. Pulling the Rug. Interesting. I mean, I think we just set nothing. Stardust just negates everything. Let's just pass here. One thing that I don't really ever mind doing is like killing tokens and letting my gadgets die, and that goes for like pretty much anything. I'm gonna take 1200 here. That is totally fine. And we will go to my turn, and we draw Galvatron. So not too great of a draw here. We honestly probably could concede this game, but I kind of want to keep fighting a little bit. Let's try and set our back rows and make things a little complicated. Of course, we're just going to, again, summon the Gadget to thin out our deck. And we're going to go and grab a green here. And then we'll just declare an attack onto what is likely a Raikou, I would assume. Let's just get some information here. Yeah, that's fine. So pretty traditional Volcanic Quick Draw deck here. We're going to set both our back rows now. They got off to a really good start, and the Stardust is doing quite a bit of work here. And so I think, are we supposed to Torrential? I think we're just dead regardless. Kind of just want to concede here. Thinking. I think we're just going to concede. I think we're good. We've seen enough. Going first, let's see if we're going to make any changes here. I still like the DD Crows. I still like the Kaikus. Cyber Dragon can come out. Let's see. Bottom line, so we want Dust Shoot back in. I want another Rug on the play, because Rug seems really strong in this matchup. And we could probably cut... What do we want to cut? The Vortex on the draw, maybe? Vortex is much better. I'm going second, because like they're likely to set up a big board like that, hopefully without a Stardust, and then we could break it. But I kind of like the Trap Dust Shoot and Pulling the Rug coming in here, taking out our going second cards, and I think that's about it. I don't really see anything else I want to bring in, so let's do that, and let's run it. They had a pretty awesome opening. That's like a really one of the stronger openings for the quick draw deck. Making Stardust in turn 1 is pretty awesome, and it just ran away with the game. But I think if we drew some sort of combination of cards, we could have got out with it. But a little too cloggy with the 2 gadgets there, and then drawing the Galvatron. So we'll see what we're going into next here. Pretty solid hand. We're going to draw for turn, and we have some plays. First, we're just going to get this gadget line going here, and we're going to search out our gadget now. So we're going to go to yellow, to hand, and then I don't mind setting Torrential. I think it's fine to set here. And then Limiter plus Terraforming is going to prove to be really strong. I think eventually we're going to be able to summon Gear Beast and like Decline Attack for 4,000 eventually. And if we can keep this gadget line going, we're going to be able to grind out for card advantage as well. Let's see what the opponent has this time. He had pretty good starts on both times, but we have a set monster, so Raikou seems to be pretty good here, which inclines me to want to summon this Gear Beast right away. Just get the go ahead and get the Gear Town out of the deck. So let's get the Gear Town out to hand. And I like how this deck just interacts in like meaningful ways, right? Like getting this Gear Town into play and then summoning the Gear Beast is just really strong in this spot, and we're going to be able to attack here into their monster. And it's a Raikou, so that's pretty sweet. So we will just declare direct attack with Red Gadget. And unfortunately, Torrentials are only like interaction here. Of course, we have DD Crow, which is relevant, but I'd rather have something like a Bottomless Trapple to completely blow the game out of the water. But DD Crow might just do that. We'll see what their response is here. And this is what I'm talking about with like limiter removal, the cards like Solidarity, where like we have the tempo here, and we Summoner Monk. Nice, that's interesting. So they're going to go and grab Cat, I assume, discarding Avarice. Pretty sweet. Yeah, so this deck is pretty nice. They're playing like a quick draw Volcanic Cat deck. We're going to see exactly what they go for here. Cat's fine. We're going to make them get their engine out of the deck first, just in case they have some way to recycle Cat with like Draw Warrior or something. I'm trying to think if like it's better to let them do their thing. Like, what are they gonna summon? A Black Rose, and then we end on, like Gear Town activating. You know, that seems pretty good. We'll be like at a +1, and we'll have the 3,000 stick in play, which seems fine to me. Okay, so they're gonna go for a 9. I'm gonna put the thinking emoji here. We're gonna see if we are going to Torrential in this spot. I'm going to write think for a second, and let's think about our option. So if they go for a Mistworm, they kind of just bounce us and get some damage. Gear Town then doesn't really help us get over the Mistworm. We would have to burn the limiter to beat the Mistworm. If we Torrential here, then we just start gadgeting again, and we do have like interaction with DD Crow to follow that up. The Gear Town in play as well. They could just go for like Arcanite Magician here and try to like pop 2. That would be pretty annoying as well. But that wouldn't be like game breaking. I'm kind of inclined to think that it's better to just let them do their thing, but I think I'm gonna Torrential here. I think like if they Mistworm, like what are they gonna Mistworm though? Maybe it's better not to. This is actually an interesting position. I'm going to type a MyB. 1 sec. This is actually a tough spot. This is pretty interesting. I don't want to sit here forever, though. Let's just let it resolve. Let's see what they do, and then like see what could have happened, see what they end up making. If they do a Mistworm, what are they going to bounce? Like these 3? Like, that's fine. Then we could decide to Torrential after. We could always just Torrential with whatever they bring out. So they might go for a Catastor, yeah. So Catastor is really good against our deck. And at this point, I believe we do want a Torrential. I'm activating Torrential here, because Catastor is a pretty hard card to get over for our deck. It's actually one of the best cards against these machine style decks where all of our stuff is Earth. And Gear Town's an excellent draw here. I mean, just unbelievable draw. That's just a 3,000 stick, the special summon that we just dropped. We're going to declare a yellow gadget effect, and we are going to search out a green to hand. Sorry about the long think there, guys. I thought that was a pretty interesting spot just because he had so many different options, and we also just like have to consider the DD Crow, like what our forms of interaction are. Now, if they have a Gorz here, what is the play? Do we just attack, go for 12, and then like try and beat the Gorz later on? What's in their grave? Engine stuff. I like being aggressive in these types of spots. We could just like limit or remove or kill them if the first attack goes through here, which does play around Gorz. So let's do that. Let's try it. Let's send this to grave. Let's set this. Let's activate. Get Galvatron Dragon to the field. And let's go battle phase. Attack for 12. And let's attack and see if they damage. Okay, so we got there. So interesting interesting game there. I thought the decision point with the Torrential was like pretty interesting. There's a lot to think about in that spot, but we got it done with our gadget machine mid-range deck. Let's go back to the deck just to sort of see if we learned anything about it. I like to sort of go back after every duel and just see, hey, how did things play out? The Solidarities didn't draw in game 1, but they came out for interaction, which we did end up drawing but didn't need in the forms of DD Crow. Their Stardust game really got us on the back foot, and the second game, which is basically a non-game, we didn't really have any counterplay for Stardust, so maybe it's worth considering copies of cards like Compulsory, which also is a good card, like at just letting our big beat sticks get in. So I would definitely consider maybe doing Compulsory, because Stardust seems kind of good looking at this against us looking at this list. Of course, we have 3D prisons, which is like, of course, a built-in way to try and deal with it. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this format video. I know you record on DB, but I think it was a lot of fun. And that is about it, guys. So drop a comment, let us know what you thought about the deck and or the gameplay, misplays, not misplays, did we play well? Let me know. I like to live and learn, and that's about it, guys. So without further ado, this is Dan V from SSG, signing out.